Don't worry. So, hi, I'm Laken. I'm Jeremy's wife, as I said. I don't know if I want to sit or stand. If we haven't met, hello. So I guess I'll jump right into this. I was raised outside of Erie in Pennsylvania, and I was not raised in a Christian home. My parents are not married, and they never have been. They both kind of decided to not pursue marriage, which, I can't change now, but one thing that I did have growing up were a couple of early church experiences. So I had a best friend in second and third grade whose dad was a United Methodist pastor, and I spent quite a few weekends at their house, just kind of getting seeds planted about who Jesus was and what he did for me. So one of the things I want you guys to know is not to underestimate those experiences. When you invite someone to one night, or when, you're serving in King's World or somewhere and there's, a little kid that shows up, don't underestimate those seeds that are getting planted, because that's exactly what they are. They're seeds, and we can trust that God will use them how he wants and that they can grow and blossom. So anyway, I had those seeds planted growing up, but I didn't really understand fully who God was. In high school and middle school, I felt a lot of hurt in my heart, just from the way people treated me, and I projected my hurt onto others a lot, and I still have moments where I look back at the things that I did to people, the things that I said to people, and the permanent hurt and pain that I probably caused them. And I'm just glad to be past that, but keep in mind how much your words carry and how much they affect people, because if I could go back and change anything, it would just be the way that I treated people in middle school and high school. So my real grace story begins my senior year of high school. I worked all summer and I bought my first car for $900, which sounds like not very much now. Thank you, inflation. But anyway, I felt like I had everything figured out. I could do everything on my own accord, and I was going to babysit and make some more money, because that's what I was raised to do, I suppose. It was the fall, and it was the first frost of the season, so I had not driven my car in winter or even rain really at this point, because I had just gotten it. And I had been warned that it was supposed to freeze, but I knew everything. Seniors, you know everything, right? Yeah, you know it all. I thought I did, but anyway, I was going downhill and a van pulled out, and I realized that I needed to slow down. So I put on my brakes, but there was no traction whatsoever. I didn't know what I was doing. And my car started spinning around. It was really scary, and my car kind of landed perfectly in a ditch where it wasn't a super deep ditch. I didn't hit a tree, anything crazy like that, but I felt like my life could have ended there. If it would have just been, a couple feet different, I could have gone off an embankment, I could have hit something and my life been changed physically, or even lost my life at that point. But anyway, I am sitting there in the ditch by myself, and I called my mom, and there was no answer. And I called my dad, and there was no answer. And I sat there crying, cold, saying, who do you turn to when your parents don't respond to you? And I felt the Spirit of God calling, like, me, Laken, me, God, I'm right here. And for the first time in a long time, I prayed and I said, God, I don't know if I'm hurt. I don't know if my car is okay, but can you just help me? And shortly thereafter, a truck came up behind me with some people in it. They checked on me and, told me, everything looks okay. Are you okay? And I said, I'm fine, I think. And they helped me get my car out. And from that point in time on, I just knew that I had to show God the person that I was meant to be and count my blessings, because I could have and I felt like I should have lost my life. But instead, God chose to save me physically and spiritually in that instance. So there were a lot of things leading up to that point that I regretted and I wish I hadn't done. I let people hurt me and take advantage of me, and luckily when that accident happened, God started changing me, and he still is. So the slow heart changes began to take effect, and I decided I would drive myself to church every Sunday, and I made a new group of friends. My one friend named Corey, he was actually homeschooled, but he did track with me, and he was like, Laken, don't you come to the Fed? Don't you come to church? And I was like, yeah, I definitely sit alone in the back. Thanks for noticing. And he's like, well, why don't you come to youth group? I'm like, nobody's invited me. So I started going to youth group, and I made a lot of new friends. The friends around me changed from people that were kind of fair weather friends, people that were there to get what they needed from me, to people that were there for me, people that pushed me to be more like Christ and to pursue him and understand others better. Through all of this, I started college the next year. I started leading for a campus ministry called Chi Alpha. They also inspired me to go on mission trips, which I still have a heart for, and I'm hopeful to continue with those now that COVID's hopefully in the past. And as college went on, I'm going to try not to cry. I feel like the biggest thing that God has blessed me with in my relationships and in the changes in my life is Jeremy. Even now he constantly pushes me to be better and to dig in when I want to give up. Anyway, and he's led me to you guys, and I'm really happy to be here with you. I really enjoyed getting to know you guys, and I'm proud of you. Anyway, sorry, I keep saying anyway now. So what I have done and continue to do is a result of ongoing heart change. It wasn't that one-time thing. So having a big, major God moment, like I was just telling you about my big story, it's not a requirement for your walk with Christ. And I feel like actually I hope you don't need a big God moment. I hope that, the seeds that have been planted in you bloom and blossom in their own time. And, maybe even in a moment when you're listening to someone speak like this, that you can see who God is, and you don't need your life to be turned upside down. You don't need to see horrible things to find out who God is and what he has for you. God has grown me in discernment and mercy. He's continually, even now, teaching me how to trust and healing me from those old relationships that I've had through his grace. And I'm not going to act like everything's sunshine and rainbows. That's not what being a Christian is. But God gives you peace when things are absolutely not peaceful. I don't think we can look at the past couple weeks or months or year and say, oh, everything's fine, but we can say that God's working. Being a Christian isn't about being perfect, but about being able to boast in our weakness, and even when things are not okay, being brokenhearted for the things that break God's heart, and also understanding the way he's working. So that's basically my story, but I found hope and I found healing in Christ, and most of all, I found purpose. And all of these things, though, too, are just, like I said, things that God is still working on me with every day. I'm still working on my purpose, trying to figure out what being a Christ-like mother looks like, and what a pastor's wife looks like, and what a medical secretary who loves Jesus looks like. It's all a balance, but let Christ keep working on you, because he will do a good thing.